200th of a second improvement. But that is the end of qualifying for every driver here today. And Pepe's, ladies and gentlemen, with, you've got to admit, an absolutely sensational qualifying session. He is on pole position ahead of Owen. Wow, huge gap, absolutely brilliant. For yet again another spectacular event hosted by Extinguished Motorsports. 5 lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. And Pepe's off the line pretty well indeed, and he does get a good jump on the rest of the drivers into turn 1. He still leads through the first corner. Don Pedrito is now having a bit of a battle with Owen behind that, who is making his way through on the back side of him, forcing the kick Sauber then into this left-hand side, but no move made for him at the moment. A pretty clean start for the drivers here in Extinguished, and as they all make their way through pretty cleanly. A bit of contact there on the back side of Speed Freak from Passy as they make their way through the flying left to right-hand side section in the first sector. Davey has had a bit of a stinker at the start, and he's all the way down at the back then in P11. No visible wing damage there on the car for him at the moment, but he's had a bit of a stinker, unfortunately. Now down at the back of the grid on lap 1 of 25. Pepe sets the fastest first sector then at the minute, as he is absolutely flying at this moment in time. Don Pedrito in 2, already dropped by 1.1 seconds over the race leader and losing this on the first lap. Owen, 3rd place then. Static Lazy is not too far behind that as well. And do not count this Aston Martin out, because he's got a lot of pace tonight. I think it's going to be used quite wisely if he carries on with this kind of pace, because this is beautiful to watch. And a new driver here in Extinguished Motorsports. And look at the pressure that he's mounting on the backside of Owen. Already a move up the inside line. He's going for it. He is absolutely going for it round the outside line. It's the Aston Martin. Static Lazy on his first time here tonight. Round the outside line, and he's made it up to P3. What a move for Static. Now on the podium places. Lazy at the minute, who's just made a bit of contact now on the backside of Don Pedrito. As we looked behind, and it is Speed Freak up the inside line. Speed Freak into P4, depositing Owen down into P5. And now he loses yet again another place. 3 places down since the start. Passy and Andrew Pittsmith then having a bit of a battle behind in P8 and 7. The inside line and not playing the DRS game then, as Don Pedrito will now be taking the dose of DRS, and that has helped him massively. We're going to go 2 by 2, now 3 abreast and nearly 4 abreast into turn 1. Brilliant overtaking from the drivers as Speed Freak. 5 places gained from the start, and he's now 2nd place in tonight's Grand Prix. Don Pedrito running in 3rd on the podium at the moment then, but he's got Owen behind him, and he's definitely not safe at the minute, as now his rears fall from underneath him as he tries to keep it clean and tidy, but very nearly spinning around there and catching the Sauber in a slide, as Owen's going to be right on the rears of him now, the same as Static Lazy, who is there as well. When he can. Is Don Pedrito going to play the DRS game, or is he just going to go for it early? He looks for the inside line, makes contact on the Alpine. He goes up the inside. Who will take the DRS here then? The Alpine's still with the jump round the outside. I think it's the kick Sauber with the dose of DRS to help him now, and that has actually worked pretty well for him. All the way down in towards turn 1. Will it be enough for an overtake? Also now Owen with the DRS too. The kick Sauber goes to the outside line. Not enough for an overtake. And that'll be the end of that battle for him at the minute. Owen in 4, then it's Static Lazy getting an overtake here from his teammate of Leeboy QAV. Breaks a bit earlier as he nearly makes contact there with the racing ball and cuts across the track. Very lucky not to make any bad collisions there with anybody and take anyone out of the race. But Leeboy QAV makes the move stick anyway. Does lose a bit of time to the guys in front due to that, but he has now got ahead of his teammate, which for him is the most important thing. Lazy. Now looking for a move on his teammates again. Leeboy QAV did make a move earlier on. Now he's going to pay the price. Static Lazy around the outside line. Who's going to get the DRS here then? They're both kind of leveling towards the left-hand side. Leeboy, I believe, will be the man with the DRS coming out of here. Then we'll find out which Aston Martin it was. Here we go then. All the way up towards the line. It's going to be Static Lazy on the backside of Leeboy and Andrew Pittsmith too. Both of them going for a move. It's a double overtake down in towards turn 1 very nearly. The Haas car of AP is now into P5. The two Aston Martins still squabbling behind, but it's the Haas car who has come out on top of that one. Here in Saudi. He's lost out many times in a row to his teammate because of this old trick, and now Percival's going to pull it off again. He doesn't get a great exit out of the final corner, but you can still see the closing speed here. Then the DRS will be activated for the extra bit of speed, and now here comes the move we've all been waiting for. Percival through past the Aston Martin, and he's into P6 this evening. All of them made a pit stop now. Oh, they're still battling. They're still battling Static Lazy. contact there, but he does drop back, and it is Percival who gets in front of to try and make his overtake and claim second spot in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He is more than capable of doing so, and he's on the backside of Passy here. Then the kick Sauber. Here comes Speed Freak round the outside line, and he's done it into second place. A brilliant overtake as Passy now in the pit lane. Speed Freak goes to P2, and he's making up the order. Brilliant, isn't he? He really, really is. And Pepys, who's currently sat up in P2 with 6 laps remaining, is in hopes of gaining 6 seconds and making a pass on Speed Freak, or even banking on Speed Freak making a mistake here to help him fast track himself up towards P1 and take, you know, what has been his for the majority of the Grand Prix. 2 different strategy calls from Speed Freak and Pepys. Pepys then opting for the 2-stop strategy, Speed Freak opting for the 1-stop, and this is where we see which one of them really works. Speed Freak is going to be your leader. He is your leader, and he came out with about 9 seconds advantage, but it's been brought down by Pepys, and he might just be able to catch him before the end of the race. As here comes Pepys for the first time today. He's going to go for the move. Will this be the move that decides the race win? They go side by side and into the final corner. Pepys leads once again the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's Speed Freak now that will be picking up the DRS out of the exit, and this will give him the advantage down in towards turn 1. Pepys might throw away his race win here if he keeps making moves like that. He needs to think about the DRS detection zone out of that final corner, and that'll aid him massively. Speed Freak into turn 1. Pepys makes a dive up the inside line, and they make contact. Maybe a bit of wing damage there for the drivers. No visible wing damage on either of them, but Pepys gets through to P1 and now leads on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Which driver is it going to be? I think it might be Pepys. Speed Freak's tyres are completely shot. 64% now on the wear. 48% battery though, and he seems to be building it up. That might be his plan right now. Pepys burning, Speed Freak burning as well down this back straight. Both of them using some, but Speed Freak still with the most, and he might just maybe be able to use that to his advantage. Are we going to get a photo finish to the line? We might just do. It is very possible here in Saudi Arabia, and it does happen every now and then, and I've had it a few times in commentary, but Speed Freak is losing so much time on this last lap, everybody. It just isn't looking doable for the Alpine anymore. It really, really isn't. Speed Freak in the Alpine loses time. He's now over the second gap, and all eyes to Pepys in the Haas then, who has driven an absolutely phenomenal race, and taking the 2-stop strategy worked by the skin of his teeth at the end. He took it right to the final lap to make the race deciding move, and he's made it all work and count now, hasn't he? A beautiful exit out of the final corner, and he can now finally start to relax this evening, because Pepys is the winner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Speed Freak over the line, comes home for a close second place, but an insane battle between 2 brilliant rivals here in Extinguished as they take 1 and 2. Passy finishes in P3. What a podium that is.